In case you were out celebrating on the 4th of July, there were two really big stories that broke while you were with your friends or family celebrating, and I think it's always interesting when whoever releases these stories, try to time it so that not a lot of people are watching, but I was, and I want to make sure you know about both of these stories. They were on both network newscasts that I watched, and they're all over the internet now. The first one is, as millions of Americans are celebrating the 4th of July around the barbecue, the cost of the burger or steak has spiked since last year's party. Beef prices have gone from $4.88 a pound last year to $5.45 a pound. And as I have run around the country speaking about this book on book tour, the one I wrote here, combining my background as a financial consultant as well as a reporter who followed the Consumer Price Index, the price of beans has been a nickel an ounce forever at big box stores. Ever since 2008, when I really started tracking it very carefully, but even as a reporter tracking the Consumer Price Index, bean prices are ridiculously cheap, especially compared to the cheapest form of hamburger meat. When I crunched the numbers, hamburger meat, the cheapest form, 30% fat, 7 times more expensive than an equal serving, 4 ounces of beans, and then compare beef tenderloin, the most expensive cut of meat, to beans, it's 37 times more expensive. So I don't know who can afford to eat meat anymore, and I think going forward, this story says the reason is, of course, the grass has been affected by the drought, and so there's less food available, and also our meat is being greatly exported to China and elsewhere, so there's more of a demand globally, unfortunately. And I think in the future, very few of us are going to be able to afford these prices because they're only going up. And then another story that hit Thursday night on a couple of the newscasts was a California chicken producer has issued its first recall since being linked to an outbreak of antibiotic-resistant strain of salmonella that has been making people sick for more than a year. The U.S. Department of Food and Agriculture said Thursday night it has found evidence directly linking Foster Farms chicken breast to a case of Salmonella Heidelberg, an antibiotic-resistant strain of the disease that has sickened more than 500 people in the last 16 months. And there's growing pressure that this recall should expand even more. But both of those stories hit Thursday night, probably in an attempt to kind of squelch the impact of these stories. And as a TV reporter turned media consultant, and I did that for a number of years too, we would advise clients, if you don't want people to see your story, make it hit on a Friday. And of course the 4th of July was on a Friday, so even less of an audience out there. Closing on a good note, this morning I placed in my 71st 5K race for my age group since 2006. This was the Race from Hell, it's called, and Run from Hell. And the reason they call it that is because who runs races in July in Florida? Piece of carrot cake actually, on plants. It's so fun. It was so fun to be out there. It was in a nice park. And, yeah, it was a little warm, but not that warm. Okay. So as you can tell, races are getting a little more creative, trying to be environmentally sensitive and using functional awards versus all of those, the other 70, which mostly are trophies and ribbons. So I'll give those away eventually, but I'm not ready to just yet. All right, I hope you had a great holiday if you're in the U.S. and a great weekend if you're not. Gotta run.